Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is Free Pattern Friday and I have got an array of patterns for you this week. I've had 2 requests to find patterns for people from commenting on last week's video, so I have been busy sourcing that. And I've just got a few random ones, and because this is the last, essentially, although it is August already, it's the last ones from the Christmas ones, from Christmas in July, because I wanted to make sure that I just included just a few that I'd found, which I didn't want to wait until November to sort out. So how are you all? I hope you're all fine and having lots of crafty time. I am having lots of crafty time. As you saw on Monday, I managed to do a fair bit for my episode video, and also again on Wednesday when I was doing my Wake Up My Whips. So today I thought that I would go all out and give you lots of patterns, as I have done in the last few weeks. I've kind of got into it now, and I've kind of really decided that because this is my best video for views so far, that I would make it a bit more watchable. And although not everyone watches the whole thing, that's absolutely fine, but it's nice to know that people actually want to have my views on the free pattern Friday, on the free patterns that I find. So it's really nice that people are really thankful and everything from in the comments. And the requests this week are from Kaylee at Shadows at Midnight, because she watches avidly all of my videos, and she's lovely enough to comment on all of them, and has asked for me to source out some dragon patterns, so I'll be showing you that. And then also there was a lovely viewer that also commented on last Friday's video, and her YouTube name is Boxer Dog's Mum, and she asked for some 18-inch doll clothes as well. So I have gone to town a bit on those to find quite a few different ones. And so I'm going to show you what I found, just in case that they are of interest to anyone else as well. So my email address is going to be down in the description box below, in case anyone wants to email me for anything, and also I will put everything that I talk about in the description box below. So I will get on with it. So I'm going to start off with the requests for the dragon from Kaylee at Shadows at Midnight. And I have found 2. Now, one is simpler than the other, but then my version of simpler would be different to a lot of other people's version of simpler. And I do have a favourite out of the 2, but I will show you and see what you think. Now, this one I picked up from Revelry, and it's called Ragu the Dragon, and is an intermediate pattern. But this is the one that I call the simplest, just because it looks very simple. It's not as technical as some patterns are, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know, you see lots that are really intricate, and I do like the true to life patterns quite a lot, rather than the ones that look like toys as such. But this one, you know, it's probably an intermediate because of the techniques that are involved, and the pattern is by Friendly Fox Ami. The website is friendlyfoxamigurumi.com, and like I say, I found this on Ravelry, and it's a free download. Obviously, that's why it's on my channel. And the colours that you need for this are green, purple, blue, white and black. The materials are a 3.5mm hook and 30 grams of polyester toy stuffing. I never weigh it. Whenever I am doing my amigurumis, I never weigh it. So it would be interesting to find out whether you actually did need 30 grams of it or not, because to me, you can keep stuffing and stuffing, and it would be hard to believe that it was only 30 grams. Although it is quite weightless and you do get a lot for the weight, it would be interesting to see. And then it's a tapestry needle and some pins for positioning before you sew it on. So it's not out of the way. The tip is, when making this pattern, remember to feel the hook in your hand and the wool between your fingers. Take your time to enjoy the process. The love you put into it will shine and make your amigurumi perfect. Now, isn't that a lovely message for anyone that is eager to make this pattern? I think that's really, really lovely, because it just brings it back simply to what you are doing. You're holding a hook and you've got yarn in your hands, and you're going from one ball of wool to making, well, I say one, obviously there's lots of colours, but from a ball of wool and to make something as lovely as this. It just amazes me every single day how something, when you've got it into a ball, what you can actually make of it. And it's nice to be reminded of that on a pattern. So this is the reason why I do what I do. And the gauge is 10 single crochet stitches, which equals 12.5 inches or 1.25 inches of yarn per single crochet. So there you go. That is something that I never take into account, but that's really good that they've actually measured that it's 1.25 inches per single crochet. So that just shows you how much yarn gets used when you've got hundreds and hundreds of stitches on an amigurumi pattern. They've also got, the designer's also got a Facebook, which is the Friendly Fox Ami, and the Twitter. They've got a Twitter account as well, which is twitter.com/friendlyfoxami. And that's all I have to really say about the pattern at this stage. So there's that one to choose from, and it gives you a view of the back as well as the front. So that was the first one that I found. The second one is a Jess Huff pattern. Now, as you know, I am doing an elephant, which is that I showed on my Monday video this week, and I went along to find out if she had a dragon, and she has, and it's called Dante the Dragon. Oh, how amazing is that? Don't be put off, everyone, including Kaylee. I think that it is the most beautiful pattern. All her work is really, really good, and every single technique she has got videos for. So if you go along, and I'll put the pattern in the description box below, like I previously said at the beginning, and each one has a video that details the stitch that you do, like for argument's sake with the elephant that I've done, there was a video for making the ears and for folding and actually single crocheting around the ears, and how to attach them and everything. So everything is step by step, so you don't need to worry, and it also means that you can actually have confidence in making something that is second to none, really. You know, it's really, really lovely how she's thought about everything. So there's not only a written pattern for the people that actually like to have a pattern to read from, other than a video for visual learners, but it just means that you can up your game and learn a bit more about the techniques and things. But I love it. I love the flames coming out of his mouth. I love the fact that his toenails are protruding with bobble stitches, and the same with his nostrils, and I really, really love it. And also, if you're not into dragons and you like dinosaurs, all you need to do is do the same pattern, but don't do the horns or the wings, and he doesn't need to breathe fire. So it doubles up as a dinosaur pattern as well, and I think that is really, really useful. And I've downloaded the pattern myself because I quite fancy it, and I quite fancy doing it. And the supplies that you will need is a 3.5mm hook, a 15, hold on a minute, let me show it again, a 15mm pair of safety eyes if you're using them, stitch markers, a yarn needle, scissors, straight pins, some fibre fill. They're suggesting that it's optional for a disappearing ink marker, and a hot glue gun for filling the horns, but that's optional. It's to do with the pattern, but again, you don't need to, you can just stuff it. And it says to use green, yellow, blue and white, orange and red. The orange and red, you don't have to have the flames, but I think the flames add to it. So the orange and red are optional. And the notes are that the video tutorials have been created to guide you through the tricky parts of making the pattern. I've referenced those videos throughout the pattern, and in addition to the Dragon Pacific videos, I've also included a list of general amigurumi tutorials that apply to this pattern. You can view the links to all of the video tutorials on the pattern on her web page, and the website is jhuff@co.dragon. And then the general instructions are that this pattern is worked in one continuous spiral. Use the stitch marker to keep track of where one end one round ends and the next begins. I prefer to place a stitch marker in the last stitch of the round. The recommended sequence for the pattern is, for the steps to create your dragon, is to do the flames, the bottom lip, the ears, the head, sew the ears on, add the nostrils, sew the ears to the head, add the nostrils to the head, crochet the arms, legs and then body, sew the head to the body, crochet the tail, sew the tail to the body, crochet the belly, sew the belly to the body, crochet the spikes, sew the spikes to the body, crochet the wings, sew the wings to the body, crochet the horns and then sew the horns to the head. And they've also got photos of what it should look like and the positioning of everything in the pattern as well, if you don't want to use the video because you know what the techniques are. It's always handy to have a full photographs of it as you go along, just so that you can keep track of it and make sure you are doing it right. So how amazing! So that's the two dragon patterns that I managed to come up with, and I thought that that would be really helpful. And the other request that I have is from the viewer Boxer Dog's mum, and she asked for 18-inch doll's clothes, and I have been busy sourcing what I could find, and I found this to start off with. Now I have only printed off the first page. I think there's 6 pages altogether, but in my Ravelry I saved it to my library and they were all individual. So you had the coat, the patterns for the coat, the hat, the boots, the dog and the dog's lead, and the mittens. They call them wristlers, and everything. Anyway, in my Ravelry, like when I typed it in, it was all individual. But when I came to printing it out, this pattern, you just put walking the dog for dolls, and all of them, all those separate patterns are in the one thing, all in the same. This one, because I only did the front page, but this one has got the start of the coat on it. But I was really impressed to find that it has all the accessories, and it says crochet the perfect puppy for your doll, and then crochet the warm coat and accessories to take him on a cool morning or evening walk. Pattern includes the coat, the ear flap, hat, the wristlers and the boots. And to have the dog as well, I think it's a welcome accessory to any doll. Now, back when my children my older children were younger, they had a big dolly, and if I could have crocheted back then, I think it would have been really lush to be able to make this for them. So I'm really pleased that it's been asked for, really, so that I could discover it again myself. It's just a shame that I don't have any. But they do also, I think, if you were to do it for a child, I think it is 6 to 12 months. No, don't quote me on it, but I think that is the size if you didn't want to do it for a doll. The dog measures 8 inches and the boots measure 4 inches. The wristlers measure 2 inches and the ear flap hat is 12 inches in diameter, and the coat is 7 inches wide and 9.5 inches long. The clothes are designed for an 18-inch doll which is 45.5 centimeters. And the assembly is to use long tails, sorry, and sew the front left to the first. I think they're on about the coat. So the front of the first 4 single crochets of back, and sew the right to the last 4 single crochets of the back, and weave in all the ends. You'll see that when you download the pattern yourself anyway, but there we go. I just thought it was really nice, and to give you that information where you can have lots of patterns all in one go, it's just like having a little ebook, and I was really pleased. And that was a Yarnspirations pattern, which if you go onto Yarnspirations it's bound to be there as well, but I got mine from Ravelry. And then I found this Swifty Baby. It's a dress with nappy diaper cover, and it's a crochet pattern by the Fairy Thorn. And although the colours don't really do it justice in that photo, it was the best photo I could find. And the finished baby Swifty crochet dress is... maybe this is where I got the information from about the 18-inch doll. I know I read it somewhere, but the recommendation is size 1, very premature. 18-inch doll, so maybe not. Very premature, which is an 18-inch doll. So I got mixed up. Just ignore that then. Very premature 18-inch doll, up to 12 inches, with chest. Size 2 is premature or newborn, which is up to 14 inches. Birth to 6 months is up to 16 inches. This is where I got confused, but I think this is just the chest measurement. And then the size 6 to 12 months is up to 18 inches. That's what I read, and that's what I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Anyway, and then the size 1 to 2 years is up to 20 inches chest, and the size 6 is 2 to 3 years up to 22-inch chest. So not just for a dolly, but can be for a child as well by the look of that. That's where I got confused, so I'm sorry about that. Anyway, they also do the same in an adult pattern, which is coming soon apparently. I'm not sure how long the pattern has been out for, so I'm not sure whether there is or not, but that's what the pattern says. And so I will leave a link in the description box below for this one, because there isn't very much information that I printed out, because I only did the first page. I didn't realise there would be anything else, because I thought that down the bottom was what I needed, but actually it wasn't really very helpful. So go along and have a look. If you like to have, if you like the look of that, then that's fine. And now I'm going to tell you about some that I found. This one is a Newboys hat for an 18-inch doll, and I got this pattern from Ravelry, but there isn't very much information about the designer. It just says crochet hook size G, and a yarn needle, and you need to learn, or you need to know single crochet, double crochet, a slip stitch, and front and back loop. That is American terms, but go along and have a look, because like I say, this is only the first page, because I'm not going to be making dolls clothes myself, so this was just to show for the request that I had. So I think this is a lovely hat that just looks very modern, because everyone likes to wear a cap, don't they? So, well, not everyone, but people that do like to wear caps like it. And it's nice to see that there is modern things for dolls now as well. So I will put it down in the description box below, and then you can go along and have a look. The other patterns which I found, now I have just printed out what the pictures look like because they weren't PDFs, and there was just a lot of adverts on it, and if you want to have an ad-free PDF, then I think that was chargeable. But they are all from Crown Country Crochet. And this one is the Sporty Beanie crochet pattern. Now, I don't like bobble hats, but I do like beanies without the bobbles. So if I was doing it, I wouldn't have the bobble, but of course that's preference, isn't it? But I do like the fact that you have got a few different crochet stitches with this one, and you can do it any colour, of course, and any amount of yarn. It does look like it is made with a DK. It looks chunkier because of the front post loops and things. Front post doubles even. Mine went blank then, sorry. But you could do it whatever yarn you like. And I don't know the yarn needle that you need because of the fact of just doing the photo, because I wanted something to show. Now I will put all of the patterns in the description box below so you can click on and have a look, but at the moment I just haven't got that information, just because it was really tricky. And now we have the cozy cardigan crochet pattern. I like the length of it, and I also like the fact that it would be quite easy to do, and it's just literally from going straight from one side to the other, you know, keep turning, and that's what makes the little ribbed. And I love the buttons as well, and the fact that it's the same sleeves as it is on the bottom, which is the front and back loop, front and back post, that's what I'm trying to say, not loop, post double crochets. And then we have got a cable sweater dress crochet pattern for the American Girl 18-inch doll, and I just love that. I love the fact of the crisscross in the front, the cabling, and it just looks really, really lovely. And on the front of this one it says that you crochet your own sweater dressing for your doll. The skill level is intermediate. Knowledge about basic crochet stitches, cables and basic sewing and seaming is needed. For the free pattern, continue to scroll down this post. For more free patterns, visit crowncountrycrochet.com/blog. And like I say, I will put the all the information down in the description box below, and then you will see the array that they do have. But I'm going to do it all the patterns separately, so if you only wanted that one without having a look, then that's fine. There's some slippers, same process really. I will put the link in the description box below, but I wanted to show those so that you could use those, and that's just single crochet as well. And then we have a sun hat. Let me just take all these off a moment. Cable dress, slippers, sundress. Here we go. Right. And there is the sundress. I love the little flower headband, but it's nice just to have. So it's not just winter clothes. I wanted to show that that you could have an array of wardrobe for the dolls that you could make yourself and not just have winter ones, seeing it is summer. So there is that one. Again, the information will be down in the description box below. And then we have a striped sweater crochet pattern. Now I love this. If it was in an adult size, I think I would personally wear it, because it really is something else. It's really lovely, isn't it? I like the way that it flares out, and I love the stripes, and I love the fact that the collar comes up a little bit as well. So go ahead, have a look. If you like that one, then the pattern will be there in the description box below. And again, the designer is Crown Country Crochet. Now I've also I've got just 2 more left, so it won't be long for those of you that aren't really interested in the dolls patterns. There's a shawl there, and I again really like this because of the fact it's just so different, but also just simple. Double crochets all the way, and then it's got a lovely little border to make it right. But there's that one. And then there is a spring sweater crochet pattern. And I love the colour of this one. Again, you don't need to use the same colours, do you? And you can use any yarn you like. I don't know the specification for the hook, but again, it will be there on the pattern. I've just only printed out the picture so that you could see what I was actually on about. So I hope that both of you are happy with my requests, or my findings from the requests, shall I say. And I'm going to now just have a sip of my coffee so that my voice doesn't go funny. And then move on. Now, this staying with Ravelry, I am wanting to learn mosaic crochet. And of course, I want to start off small so it doesn't put me off. I would normally leap straight into a pattern that looks fantastic because I've seen so many. I really love it. I love the ones that look like the image of stained glass windows and everything, and I'm really interested in learning it, but my brain says to me, you can't do that. And I know I can, because look at me. If I can crochet things like an otter or the red panda, then why can't I do a mosaic blanket? The mind boggles me, but it's just how powerful your brain is. If you tell yourself you can't do it, you just won't, and you won't look for it. So I've now started to look at patterns, because I would normally just go, oh yes, that's really nice, but there's no point because I can't do it. But I started this off, and this is to start off a few of Christmas, the last Christmas ones that I wanted to show for Christmas in July, even though it has gone July now, but I wanted to still show you anyway. And that is a tree rug, and you can choose any pattern, but this one was simple. It fitted the brief for Christmas in July, and I thought it would be simple enough to learn. And the pattern is about 6 pages long, I think, so not too much. I just think, oh, that's all right, there's only 3 pages, because I do it double-sided if I can. But it's all step by step. There's photos all the way along, and I've looked and I think, yes, of course I can do that. If you can do back, working in the back loop and the front, then you can do mosaic crochet. So don't let it stop you. That is my advice, because I'm not going to let it stop me, and I am going to give it a go. I don't know when, but I will. be giving it a go, because I'm so intrigued to know if I actually can do it. And I love the fact that it can be coloured and then put white over the top. And I don't know whether the all mosaic is like kind of one colour in the back on the back loop and then the other colour on the front loop, or the other way round. You know, I'm not sure whether it can be just without doing it in back loops, but because I looked at a pattern earlier and I did see that's what you do. But I really, really, really am intrigued to try it. And something as simple and as tiny as that will give me the thirst to do something bigger long term. I have got lots and lots of things that I want to do, and I have got lots of yarn that I've bought to do lots of things with, especially patterns from Sandra Paul at Cherry Heart. So I'll be doing all that first. Won't be jumping into a larger project, but I just want to know that I can do it. And so I thought that this would be ideal. So between now and Christmas, I am going to learn it. But I wanted to show you just in case you wanted to have a go as well. And that this is using Hobby's Portobello cotton. It's 60% cotton, 28% acrylic and 12% wool. One skein of 50 grams is 120 meters, and they're saying to use just two colors. One is eucalyptus and one is off-white, but of course you can use any colors that you want anyway. And you don't have to use cotton if you don't want to. This is suggested for cotton because of it being a mug rug, but it's a bit more hard wearing. And they're suggesting to use a 4.5mm hook, and you'll need some scissors. And it's good to know that this pattern is written in US terminology. Do not turn your work after each row. All rows are worked from right to left, and the chain stitch at the beginning of each row does not count as a stitch. The first and last stitches of each row is a regular single crochet. The description is to start with colour A and work with a size 4.5mm hook and work 28 chain stitches. And then it tells you about the row, and it starts by showing you the photos of what you need to do, and it goes all the way through. But like I say, I only did this first pattern, and it is created by a lady called Carolyn. So I will put the pattern in the description box below, and if you want to, you can go and see what other patterns there are as well. And I'm going to stick with the Christmas theme for a moment, and I went over to the Hobbycraft website, and that's because Kaylee was messaging me in the comments, and that is again the lady from Shadows at Midnight, and she asked me because most of the ones that she found didn't have very good reviews, and whether I tried them or not. Well, I said to her, no, I don't actually think I have, but I haven't tried the patterns, but I did go over there a while ago on my free pattern for my free pattern Friday, and I did the ladybird mittens. So I haven't actually made any, but I have been over there to see what the patterns are like. And along the way, I found a reindeer gift tag. Now, last week I showed a Santa Claus gift tag, and I think that this would be really good to have a different gift tag, especially if someone loves reindeers, because I love to see reindeers when they come to garden centres and things. There's a Christmas tree farm not very far away from me, and they always have reindeers in November and December, and I love to go along and have a look at them. So I just thought that I would show that as in keeping because I already showed it and it keeps the topic going. So I thought that it would be really interesting to show you that one. It says, get crocheting this Christmas. This cute little Rudolph the Reindeer crochet tag will look adorable on your gift wrapping, and you can make a little Christmas tree tag to match as well. So they've got a Christmas tree one on there as well. It says to use DK yarn in light brown for the head and ears, red for the nose and dark brown for the antlers. It's saying to use a 4mm hook and a 2.5mm hook as well. So there's that one, just in case you would like to add a little bit of homemade zest to any gift at all. And now I've been, I'll show you this one first actually. There's on the Hobbycraft one, there's also a penguin mug cozy. Now, I don't think that this is just Christmas. I think it would just be really nice all winter long, because although we associate penguins at Christmas time, it's not necessarily Christmas because it's not a Santa, is it? You know, or a Rudolph. But I thought I would show it just because it was there. And the pattern suggests a 3mm and a 4mm hook. And we need 2 black beads or some thread to embroider your own eyes, a black button and some black, white and yellow yarn. It's just straightforward single crochets, and the pattern is on the Hobbycraft website. Now we're going to go over to Love Crafts, and I found a teddy angel. Now I think that is so cute and adorable, and it would be so lovely to make it and then put it away after Christmas and then bring it back out again. Or you could even keep it out all year long, because at the end of the day, fairies are fairies, aren't they? You know, and maybe if you made the thing around its head removable, you can just leave it out and use it. You know, I mean, there's other fairies like the Tooth Fairy, isn't there, and things like that. So it would be nice, but of course, then it doesn't matter. You could even think it was like an, you know, just a fairy in general. It doesn't have to be an angel, does it? But it's the Rickaroomy pattern, as you can see, and I just thought that it would be really nice to show. And I haven't printed off any of the other information because it went straight into the pattern. There wasn't any advice or anything, so I didn't see the need to print it out and tell you about it. So I'll leave it in the description box below, and then you can go along and have a look. Well, we've been talking for 43 minutes already, so feel free to stop me and then go and get a drink if you need one. Now, corner to corner, going back to Hobbycraft website again, there's a corner to corner crib blanket. Now, corner to corner blankets you can get anywhere. You can source them for free most places. But the reason why I chose this one was because of the border, and they've actually got a lovely little border that look like sort of triangles. But I like the fact that if you've got a child that likes tags or anything, you actually they can use it and rub it just like the tags, and I think that would be a lovely idea. So that's what caught my eye with this one. You can use any yarn you like. You don't have to use multicoloured if you don't want to. It can be all the same, but I think that would be really lovely. And the stuff you will need is the Hobbycraft Baby Prints Multi, and it's 4 balls, And again, you can use any yarn at all. You don't need to use that, but that's up to you. I love to use the Hobbycraft Women's Institute yarn, so it's always a favourite of mine. They just don't have very many colours in it. That's the thing that lets them down. They say to use a 4mm crochet hook, some scissors and a tapestry needle. The tension is 20 chains and 26 rows is 10 centimetres using a 4mm hook, or the size required to obtain the tension. I don't really worry about tension with it. I've done lots and lots of crochet corner to corner, and it isn't really necessarily really. You just kind of, my advice would be to get to grips with it first. If you've never done it before, you need to get to grips with it before you worry about your tension anyway. The photographed blanket that's shown is 33 inches wide by 30.5 inches in length, which is 84 by 78 centimetres. And then on the back it explains how to work it, and if you don't already know, it's 6 chains. This is in UK terms as well, not American terms, because Hobbycraft is obviously English. But a treble in English terms is a double in American. So 6 chains and then it's 1 treble in the 4th chain from the hook, and then 1 treble in each of the next 2 stitches, and that makes the 1 block. So if it's American terms, it would just be 1 double in the 4th and then another double in each of the next 2 to make 1 block, and then you turn it and then you do it again, and it works up, and then you can decrease, and then it tells you how to make it up, and it's just really lovely. But I wanted to show you it just because of the border, really. So go along and have a look if that's what you like. Now we have a temperature blanket 2024, and I can hear you already. It's already halfway through the year. But my question to you is, how many people do temperature blankets from that people have done years ago, and they've copied it for the current year? So I don't worry whether it's 2022, 2019, 1987 or whatever. It doesn't make any difference to me. If you find a blanket that a stitch that you really like, anyone can do a temperature blanket from any year. But this one is just the current one, because obviously it was put out at the beginning of the year, and I'm late catching up. It doesn't matter, does it? I don't worry about whether I'm late to the party or not. I have my own fashion sense. I have my own ideas of crochet things to do and how I really like it, and so it doesn't matter to me. And this one in particular is the moss, or the linen stitch as it's been known by, and it's going from the center outwards, and I did show a pattern for this called moss squares, or moss, I can't remember what it was, but I know it was a couple of weeks ago, because I was intrigued by the fact that the moss stitch could be done in a square and just keep going like a granny square. Anyway, this one is a temperature blanket 2024 moss and linen stitch, and it's by 1 stitch at a time crochet, and they have several different colours, and that is on the front, and it was really inviting to see that, and I thought, oh, let's go and have a look. But now with this one, let me just have a drink. What are temperature blankets? The basic idea of a temperature blanket is the crochet or knit a number of rows in a blanket each day for the full calendar year. The colours used each day correspond with the temperature outside. Expectedly the more colours in your palette, the more variance that you will get in your overall blanket. For the more successful and enjoyable making experience, adjust the colour gauge to better fit the weather of your region. The easiest way to do this is the range by the number of colours you want to use. Traditionally, temperature blankets are made with rainbow colours since their inception. Colour palettes for these projects have evolved. I've seen many on Pinterest using pastels, ombre colours and even colours based on paintings. There are no right or wrong answers when choosing the colours for your blanket. If your goal is to let your colour palette stand out, then choose simple pattern for the temperature blanket. Rows of single crochet might be traditional, but that can get a bit tiresome for the year-long project. Mix things up by picking a different stitch, perhaps the granite stitch or the granny stripe, or have even more fun with trying a completely different pattern like corner to corner, chevron or a granny square. And she goes on to say, let me put that there, that her pro tips are temperature blankets don't need to be from January to December for the coming year. Use any 365-day time frame that you'd like. Some blanket ideas are iconic for the first year of marriage or the first year of a new baby, or from one birthday to the next. Personalize your blanket how you want. I think that's a really good idea actually as well. Include the stitch include the marker either where your notions pouch or in the pattern itself. If you get behind in your blanket, have a marker. Having a marker will help you figure out where you left off. I like to keep a stitch marker in the bag and make note of what day the marked stitch and the row represents. I've also added a white stripe or accent to the blanket to represent the first and the first day of the month. You have more options than straight rows. Classic temperature blankets are worked in basic stitches with full row representing one day. Consider corner to corner blankets, chevrons or granny squares to shake things up. Mix a pattern that you love, even if it's simple. The best temperature blankets are pretty basic, allowing the yarn to really shine. Try to find a pattern that you can commit to and that won't get too mundane over the course of the year. So basically they are saying that you can choose, this is just like basically what you need to do a temperature blanket, no matter what the stitch, by the sound of it. A few helpful tips are to read through the entire pattern before starting the crochet. Photos are also provided to help you check stitch placement. Just in case you find a mistake or you have to pull out stitches, don't weave in your ends until you have a few rounds ahead and are sure that everything is checking out correctly. This will help you This will make it a whole lot easier to take out the rounds if needed. Stitch markers will be your best friends for the pattern. Please use them. If you are debating how much yarn to get, then always opt for the greater amount if you are able, just to make sure that you don't run out of colour in the middle of your blanket. If you're stuck and figure out something, then please feel free to reach out and ask here in the group. There's a there is a group called One Stitch at a Time Crochet. I'm sure everyone will be having the same conundrum as you. Have fun with making the square, and if it even makes you feel like pulling out your hair, send it to time out for a bit. I really hope that you enjoyed making this square as much as I've enjoyed designing it. And then the overall notes, because I printed this one out as well, just because it's quite in depth. But it was to chain 1 or 2 at the beginning of each round. Does not always count as the stitch, so read the row instructions carefully. This pattern is worked in rounds. At the end of a round where specified, fasten off to secure ends and change colour after every round. Otherwise, just carry on with the next row with the same colour. Stitches between asterisks indicate the stitches that are completed a certain total number of times, and stitches that are held in brackets indicate stitches that are done a certain number of times. Stitches that are held within curly brackets, which is the wiggly ones, indicate stitches that are done a number of times, and the ones that are in parentheses, I'm trying to work out what it said, indicate stitches that are done in a certain number of times. Helpful tips within the instructions are placed in the parentheses and are blue in colour. Note in bold are found at the beginning of the rounds. It's very important to read these before beginning the round. Make sure that you keep your tension consistent throughout your work. It is easy to tighten up when making single crochet stitches and their variations. Slip stitches and chains can also be so please be watchful, and stitch markers can be very helpful whilst crocheting a pattern, so please use them when you need to. And again, the designer is 1 stitch at a time. That was a bit long-winded, but I just wanted to let you know, especially if you've never done a temperature blanket before. So this one is using the moss stitch and it's in the round, but you can use any stitch you like, any yarn you like, and whatever the hook size for the yarn that's particular that you're using. Now, next I've got a lightning feather poncho. I'm just conscious of the time. I stopped because I thought, oh, it's 58 minutes already, and I've still got the amigurumis to show you. But I hope you'll stick with me. If not, just come back and watch in 2 halves or something. The lightning feather poncho. They use worsted weight, which is Aran, in 5 colours. The contrast colour, 1, 2, 3, there's 4 contrast colours shown, and they use Lion Brand Pima cotton. You don't need to use cotton, you can use DK if that's what you want. Maybe for if it's cotton, if it's in the summer and you just want something in the evenings to keep you warm, to keep the chill off, then that's fine. But if not, you can use DK. It's a 5.5mm hook and a 4mm hook for the lacing cord, and the gauge is 13 stitches and 7.5 rows, equals 4 inches or 10 centimeters in DK, in double crochet. So the sizes are extra small to medium, large to extra large, 2x to 3x, 4x to 5x. And if you want the in-between sizes, then choose to size up for a looser poncho fit or size down for a sweater-like fit. The model is wearing extra small to medium. But I wanted to show you that just because I think it's just a little bit out the ordinary. And if you are just getting into colour work, it also helps as well. And also if you are just starting out to want to make some garments. Ponchos are normally kind of over your head and triangular, aren't they? But I just thought I'd show you this one. The pattern notes are to wind contrast colour yarns in, wind, sorry. Wind contrast colours into small balls to make colour changing easier. If you need, you will need 6 small balls, each of main colour and contrast colour 1, 5 small balls of contrast colour 2, and 4 balls of contrast colour 3 and 4. To change colours, yarn over with the new colour and complete the last stitch in the old colour, which is general if you know how to do that anyway. Each row begins with a starting chain of 3, which starting chain 3, which counts as the double crochet stitch. Work is turned after each row, and the pattern shows directions for the sizes that I've already explained. And they're saying that the lightning is common occurrence on the high mountain peaks and flat mesas of the 4-corner area. Traditional Navajo teaching says that lightning is the contract between Mother Earth and Father Sky, and the sparks that reproduce all the plant life. A feather lightness is soft, graceful counterpart and striking power of lightning bolt, and the lightning and the feathers are both magnificent displays of nature's beauty, and both inspire the motifs of the versatile tapestry crochet top. And then I've chosen this because I thought it was a really nice border, and I don't, you know, we kind of bark on about blankets and things, but we don't really take much notice of borders. But I really like this border, so I printed it off to show you, seeing as it was free. And the important information is to read before starting. You may need to use a hook a little smaller than the one that you used for your main item. Round 1 will be okay, but check after a short trial that round 2 is lying flat. If it is, then you're good to go, but if it looks a bit wavy, then try a hook 1 or 2 sizes smaller. Foundation round and round in which you attach round 1 must have a 2 chain space in each corner and number of stitches along the side, divisible by 6. By 6 plus 4. When counting, include 2 corner chains stitches per side. If necessary, add more plain crochet or double crochet rounds to your item working. You can adjust the count and even numbers by including the hidden stitch right after the corner, or by one odd number by skipping it, or you can increase or decrease at the points along the side. Begin with a foundation round having any multiple of 6 stitches plus 4 along each side. It's US terms and the level is beginner to intermediate. To credit, the thanks goes to Polly Plum. Every trick on the hook for the foundation squares used here. I'm beginning to see the light from Stardust Melodies, and she has got, it says Christine Bateman 2023, and it has a email address of catswhiskerscrochet@gmail.com. But I really loved it, and I thought that it would be really, really nice, and I'm going to bear it in mind for blankets in the future as well, so I wanted to share that with you. Okay, now I forgot to show this one last week because it was at the bottom of the pile and it got mixed up. And I love this because I love stained glass windows. And look at those. Now this is a pattern in UK crochet terms, which is US terms, are at the end of the blog. So it does UK and American. And it's called Sunset Silhouettes Granny Squares by Eleanor Tully. And I just really loved it. We've got a cat there and a dolphin, and I just really think that that is really effective and stunning, especially when it's quite simple. And Elena from Coastal Crochet has got lots and lots of different things on her blog, and she even does, I think it's the seaside blanket, I can't remember what it's called, by the beach blanket, something like that. But go along and have a look because she just does some amazing, stunning things. And so I had to show you that just basically for that reason, and just in case that nobody knew that she was there. But I just thought it was something different and works up really nicely if you only want to do little bits at a time. You'll need different colours. There's a cat square and a dolphin square. The tension is not crucial for this project. But I also like the fact that you can use any yarn. They're suggesting to use Sheepy's Twinkle, or the Emu Classic DK. Now Emu is one of the ones that I want to see because I saw the Emu yarn on the website back along when I was choosing, and I said to Sally from Nanny Moon's Crochet that I'd like to try the Emu DK, so it's going to be one that I am going to be investing in when I can renew my stocks, when most of this stuff is gone. So there isn't really much else I can say about it, but I will put it in the description box below and then you can go along and have a look yourself. Now I've got a flower pattern which I know I've showed before, different flowers, but this one is a different way of doing tulips, which is why I wanted to show you this, just so that it can give you a different outlook. And you can even do the ones like that, so it's split colours, and that's the reason why I wanted to show you it. And it says the inspiration for designing and crocheting this lovely tulip flower came from the 40+ crochet flower patterns shared by Made from Yarn. After seeing these lovely crochet flowers, I just had to make one using the crochet rib stitch design. And if this rib stitch texture appears familiar, it's because I used it in the recent crochet beanie pattern. It comes in 9 sizes with a single pattern and can be crocheted for your family. It is the big hit on Google Discovery, and so add it to your crochet list straight away. And the yarn for the flowers, they use worsted weight or double-stranded sport weight. DK would be fine. Crochet hooked 5mm or a size H. If you use different yarn weights, you can experiment with different crochet hook sizes to find the one that works for you. Usually it follows the recommended hook size by the yarn manufacturer. Floral wires of 12 AWG for the stem and 22 AWG for the leaf, 15 inches long, some fibre fill, a tapestry needle, some scissors, quick dry clear adhesive or hot glue, a pair of pliers or small styrofoam ball. Pliers are used to bend the the 12 AWG floral wire to keep the wire end inside the flower buds. Alternatively, you can use glue and styrofoam ball to the end of the wire. And then it just tells you how to make it. But I just really loved it, so again I wanted to share it because I do love the two-tone colour, and I think they really do look like tulips. Now I stayed with the dragon pattern. I know I shared the dragons right at the beginning, but I also found a dragon belly shawl pattern. The picture isn't very good, but it just looks ribbed and much the same as a dragon belly, really, which is why it's called it. But the design is by Joanna Lindell, and the dragon belly shawl is slightly isometric, I want to say that's the word it is, and is crocheted from one side to the other, back and forth in direction the arrows show in the picture below to the right. I call the shawl dragon belly because its texture reminds me of how dragon bellies often look like in children's stories. Don't you agree? They're suggesting that the yarn they used was Sheepy Spirit 50 grams, and she used 3 skeins using the colour 304, but of course you can use any yarn you like. The hook size is 4.5. Do check it on the ball band if you're using anything different. And the size, if you use the same yarn and the hook indicated in the pattern, the shawl will be approximate measurements and show that it's showing the picture on the right, which is 180 centimeters by 120 and 110. Note that this is the size after blocking. Additional rows can be added before making the border if you like a bigger shawl. If you measure it bigger, it might need more yarn. The stitches used are slip stitch, single, double and front post double. You can find a tutorial how to make front post double on her blog, and the blog is called, the Ravelry store is Joanna Lindell Designs, and the blog is the Me Jo Crochet on Facebook and Instagram. But it gives you lots of photos and things as well to be able to follow along. So I wanted to show you that, and again I will put it down in the description box below. The other one I found was the Yarnivore UK Dragon Scale Gloves. Now it's only a tiny picture. I don't know whether it'll focus properly, but there's those as well. Again, I'll put it down in the description box below so you can have a look. And they recommend a 3.5mm hook with some light worsted weight. A DK would be fine. The US terminology is used throughout, and a variegated yarn works best. Personally, it's the like the Signet Boho or the King Cole Riot Drops Delight. Now I have the boho one, just let me show you. I have Signet Boho, so just so that if you're not aware of it, you can you know what it looks like. And so I've got several balls of this in different colours, so it'll be a good one for me to see if I can make it and how it will look. And it's also good for me to learn the crochet, the crocodile stitch as well, because I'm not very good at that. So it'll be nice to see if I've improved in that, and I will put that in the description box below. So just a couple more left now, and that is some amigurumis that I found. 1, 2, 3. Right, so we've just got 4 left. Now, I found a website called Craft Passion, and they do free patterns and tutorials, and I couldn't wait. I found this right at the beginning of the week, and I thought, I am gonna show that on Friday. I cannot wait. So I'm gonna show you, but it's an amigurumi rhinoceros crochet pattern. It was last updated on the 30th of March 2023, and the designer is Craft Passion, and they've got some really lovely patterns on there, and I just really wanted to show you. Anyway, this is the rhino. How cute and adorable is that? That is just, I can't wait to make him. Honestly, he is lovely. I made a rhino from the Toft book, but I'm going to make this one now that I found, it's just so lovely. I also made a rhino that is just like the traditional rhino, and he's right the other side. I don't think you can see him in the thing, but he's next to the robin right on the end, because that I wanted one that was a real rhino, you know, the full body stance, and the Toft one is like a toy, more like a child's kind of way of looking at a rhino, but this one as well. And I just love his dungarees and everything. I really can't wait to make this. So this one's going to be added to my list. But it says, let's spread our arms and welcome Ron, the amigurumi rhino, into our big family. He is so thrilled that the weather is finally getting warmer so that he can play with his friends. Just thinking about the road trips to the beach, eating ice cream and exploring the fields with friends has got him excited. Join us in adding this young crochet rhino to your animal wildlife collection. Keep reading to get the free pattern and detailed tutorial below. Isn't he fabulous? Honestly, I don't have any other information than that, because I just wanted to show you the picture, because the next page went right into the pattern, and I didn't want to print it off right now. It says, what a nice day to be out, said Ron eagerly as he lay in the meadow of fresh leaves and grass. Being surrounded by nature has got to be one of his favourite activities. He loves admiring the beams of sunlight through the trees and calm winds sweeping on his face, and most of all, the smell of grass. Isn't that lovely? I love the fact that there's a little story to go with it, and just setting the image, and I just love everything about this pattern. So I wanted to share it with you because it was just something else. So if you want to do the same, then I will put it down in the description box below, and go and have a look at the website, because it is lovely with loads and loads of patterns that is really worth looking at. Then we have, there's another picture of him as well. I didn't realise that I had printed it off like that. It says, who is Ron the rhino? Ron, as the crocheted rhino amigurumi, measures 13 inches tall, standing up 10 inches while sitting down. and at this size, making him the perfect huggable size. And there's a fact that as the name suggests, rhinoceros means nose horn. These gentle giants are known for their enormous horns growing out of their snouts. Unfortunately, these brilliant animals are on the brink of extinction due to illegal hunting. For centuries, people from certain countries have taken their horns for medicinal purposes and status symbols. I just love it, honestly. So I'll put it down in the description box below. Oh, what am I... Right, sorry, no. I didn't realise it came out on separate pages and I didn't realise I had it. So what you need for the rhino is that this crochet rhino stuffed animal is made up of basic stitches, materials and tools, 2.5mm crochet hook, 2 balls of acrylic yarn in blue or your preferred colour for the rhino, and half balls of acrylic in beige, polyester fibre fill and a pair of black 10mm dome button eyes. If you're not using eyes, then you can do it for the, you can embroider them. And then you need, the tools that you need is a long tapestry needle, water erasable fabric marker, scissors and pins. The amigurumi pattern includes detailed step-by-step instructions on how to crochet the body, ears, horns, arms, legs and tails separately before combining and assembling them. I didn't realise that I printed it off. I thought it was only the picture, so I'm sorry for that, but it's just amazing, so go and have a look. Now we have Tad the crochet bear. Now I love everything about this bear too. I love the little patches and everything, and I just think he is really lovely. Tad, the 12-inch tall crochet bear, teddy bear, is an affectionate creation for those who enjoy crocheting and treasured handcrafted treasures. It is the cuddly teddy bear that every little kid dreams of having. So make the dreams come true and crochet Tad. This classic crochet teddy bear pattern has a traditional appearance thanks to the warm grey colour and contrasting white paws and nose. The embroidery on the eyes, elbows and snout give the caring expression, and how to make this crochet teddy bear unique is by the mending patches on the forehead and the body. Add a dapper green bow to complete Tad with a touch of classiness. Tad isn't just a teddy bear, he's a character with his own wardrobe. This crochet bear is ideal for storytelling activities, whether he is dressed in playful overalls for a picnic or pyjamas for bedtime. Make sure that you read all the way through to the end of the post so that you see some of the outfits and the links for the free crochet patterns. And now we have another Rikarumi one, which is just a penguin with a bobble hat, and I will put all the description box below. Put it in so then you can have a look at the pattern yourself, but that one I got from Love Crafts, and then these two I got from Love Crafts as well, and they are Sweet Oddity Art patterns. And this one is Christopher the Chipmunk crochet pattern, and I love the fact that when you have a look at the pattern, he's stood the other way around and he's got the lines that chipmunks do have down the backs of their heads and the body, which is really good. The size is 12 inches from bottom to top of the head, and weight 6 yarn and a 3.75mm hook. The skill level is intermediate, suitable for novice crocheters, requires patience and precision when assembling the chipmunk and basic crochet skills. You can contact Sweet Oddity Art in gmail.com, or otherwise she has an Etsy shop. And the materials that you need are 21mm safety eyes, a 26mm safety nose, scissors, sewing needle, stitch marker, fibre fill, and it's done in Chanel wool. You don't need to use Chanel wool, and it's a bulky yarn, so they're suggesting 3.75 of bulky yarn because it's usually a 6mm, and they always say to go down at least one hook size, so that you don't see the holes, but again, you don't need to use the squashy one. You can always just use whatever yarn you like. And the notes are: do not join the rounds unless stated, work in countless spiral, use a stitch marker to mark at the beginning of each round, all stitches are worked in both loops unless stated otherwise in the pattern. And then the other one, which is the last pattern, I don't know whether you have stayed with me for the whole thing or not, but I am very, very pleased that you have, if you did. And this is a koala, and look at that. Mel the koala crochet pattern. I had to show you because it was so cute, and you don't see koala patterns very often, so it's really nice to actually see one. And so it's the same sort of thing. They're saying that it's a worsted weight, so an Aran weight yarn, and a hook size of 3.25. You need 18mm eyes and 26mm nose. Can be purchased from the glasseyesonline.com. And I know that Elise Rose Crochet, she uses that company for the eyes and stuff that she needs. Again, you do not join the rounds, you just keep going, put a stitch marker at the beginning of the round, and all stitches, sorry about that, all stitches are worked in both loops unless stated otherwise in the pattern. Again, you can contact them, sweetoddityart@gmail.com, and there's also the Etsy shop. If you need any got any concerns or anything, then just give them an email. So thank you very much indeed for sticking with me this long, and I'm really pleased. I didn't realise that it would even take me almost an hour and a half, so thank you so much, and I am so pleased. Let me know what you liked. Let me know if you've got anything that you want me to search for, and it's been a bit long-winded with some things, so I'm sorry if you've got bored along the way, but I love this channel, and I love doing everything I can for everyone that watches me, so it's really nice. I'm gonna go now. Like and subscribe and share my channel. I'm trying to up my watch hours and get as many subscribers as I can, because I am close, getting closer to my goal, because I would really love to spend a lot more time on my channel and things, and be able to share lots more with you, and so I need some more watch hours. So it would be really good if you could share my channel so that lots of other people can see if they like it too. So take care everyone, and I will see you again on Monday with my episode video showing you what I've been getting up to in the week. Take care, see you soon, happy crafting, love to you all, bye.